Hope you're having a good week and doing your best to stay cool during this very pronounced heat wave. I give you all a very warm welcome once again to our class. And of course, as per usual, before diving into this week's module, we'll start with our punny joke. Ready? Set? Let's go. This one made me laugh. That was cute too. It says, what did this excuse me. What did the cough now? What did the sushi say to the bee? What's up, bee? Look at the picture. I like how they're both blushing. It's like very anime style, huh? Have you noticed that in anime the characters are always like blushing, and they have a lot of pronounced facial gestures, like when they get nervous there's like a big ol' sweat drop. Oh man, actually this would be a teardrop, huh? This would be a sweat drop. Alright, so with that we dive into our calendar here. Believe it or not, look at this, we are at Module 4 already, and as you can see, we have a new thematic unit, of course, and that's called textual analysis, which is a really useful thing to understand and recognize how to actually go about doing textual analysis. And it's an important part of our class as a writing composition course. So look at the signpost that we have for this week. Of course, the research paper that we started has its outline due by the end of this module, which will be by July 18 by 11:59 p.m. Look forward to looking at those. And oh, look at this. Your second current event is due also at the end of this module, Sunday, July 18 by 11:59 p.m. And as usual, the tasks, the actual module task, which will be module 4, will be due by the end of this week, of course. And with that, we dive into our actual module here. So here's what we have. Module 4. We have our lecture on textual analysis. So I've included the video in here. Here is the accompanying handout, just as I explained in the video. And this one is the corresponding discussion board that goes with, excuse me, drinking some lemon and chia. It goes with the textual analysis lesson. So as you can see, just like we did in the textual analysis lesson there, where you took notes of things that stood out to you, which were the denotative details, you're going to move from that and move into the connotation of this cartoon. It's a really good one, the Sneetches. When we were kids, we would read Dr. Seuss a lot, but didn't really recognize just how profound his work was, and now is a chance to revisit. So I have this chart here, which will help your thinking, in addition to, of course, what you learned in the textual analysis lecture. But essentially, it's modeling that same movement from from denotative details to connotative ones. So these little guiding questions will be helpful there. So essentially, the task is just to create a thesis, as if you were writing a paper for this particular cartoon. Of course, a textual analysis paper, yeah. And this is helpful that I've highlighted here. A good potential model for a thesis for this paper would be as follows. Okay, so after watching this cartoon and after taking the notes and after taking some time to really consider the connotative implications of those denotative details that you noticed, then try to determine the larger message or theme of this cartoon, right? How does this cartoon reflect that? Okay, so not just that it reflects it, but how does it do it? Does it do it through the characters? Does it do it in something that you saw through the song? Does it do it in the symbols that you saw? Does it do it in the colors? Does it do it in what the conflict is and how the conflict is resolved? You tell me. So how does the artifact reflect that larger message that you drew from this cartoon? And then, of course, answer the so what question. Why is this important? This larger message, this theme, why does it matter? Does it have any connections to real life? Etc. Here's a little example, like if I was doing it on the lower axe. Did you guys read the Lorax? It's been a cool minute, huh, since we looked at the Lorax, but that's another good one. Look, in the story entitled The Lorax by Dr. Seuss, the writer forwards a perspective of eco-criticism. Through this view, the ideal of industry is vilified. Okay, so here, if I was saying, well, what's the larger message? Okay, eco-criticism. And, you know, I'm certainly with this model thesis, I could have done a better job in explaining more so like, okay, well, what's the larger takeaway message? So, hey, see, after this lesson, I bet we're all more astute with seeing how you can improve thesis statements. But look, so first, what's the larger message? Just look at this model. In the story entitled Lorax by Dr. Seuss, the writer forwards a perspective of eco-criticism. Through this view, the ideal of industry is vilified by way of the antagonist, who is known as the Onceler. Okay. Conversely, the ideal of nature conservation is celebrated as embodied by the story's protagonist known as the Lorax. Okay, so this is a larger message for the conservation of nature, right? And very much celebrating those values, right? So if that's what this is about, and the way it's doing this is by pitting it against this antagonist, the Onceler, who's very much just about industry and actually, if you remember from the cartoon, from this Lorax, this Onceler is very much into chopping trees and just polluting, and a lot of times what we see with industry, right? But that's what I drew from this. Okay, the next one is answer the so what questions. You know, why does this matter? With our current state of climate change, this message, the message for the importance of nature conservation, is just as significant today as it was back in 1971 when Dr. Seuss wrote this story. So notice how I answered here, the so what, why does this larger message matters, and then any connections to real life. So that's essentially it. This will be your biggest help, which is why I highlighted it. So tell me, what's the larger message or takeaway from this cartoon, from this one, from the Sneetches? And then, how does it reflect this? Again, through the characters, through the symbols, through the lyrics of the songs, through the colors, through what the conflict is, how the conflict's resolved, you tell me. And then, why does this matter? Why is it important? Literally say this matters, this is important because, and then can you see this larger message that you drew from it connect to real life in any way? And then, of course, since it's a discussion board, make sure to also reply to at least one classmate's post. So that's our discussion board. And the next one is just the link for the research paper outline, which I included this assignment link in the last module. But as you can see, it's actually due at the end of this module, so by Sunday, July 18th, which is why I also included it here in module 4. And last thing, we have our link for current event 2. This is indeed our last current event for this intersession, so finish just as strong as you started, my friends. That's it for this module. Please let me know if you have any questions, and enjoy the lesson on textual analysis. Have a lovely week, and see you guys next time.